Welcome back to the Sunbelt Social Suite. Joining us now is the head coach at Appalachian State. We've got the man himself, Scott Satterfield, entering his second season at the helm at his own alma mater. Coach, thanks so much for stopping by and making some time for us here.
Thanks, glad to be here.
Well, we just got done talking with a couple of the student athletes that you guys brought down, Cam and Ronald, and so we asked them, but we're going to ask you as well, what's going to be the key to beating Michigan?
The key to beating Michigan, maybe Devin Garner getting hurt or something before the game, possibly. I don't know. No, I think the key to beating Michigan is going to be for us to take care of the football. I think that's first and foremost, and I think we're going to have to score touchdowns. I think as I look back at Georgia, even Georgia last year, we got in the red zone 4 times in the first half, only came away with 6 points. You're going to have to score touchdowns. In 2007, when we went to Michigan to win, we had several touchdowns in the first half, enabled us to get a little bit of a lead, and then we were able to hold on at the end. So taking care of the football and then putting the ball in the end zone is going to be a key for us to get victory.
Now, at the time of that 2007 victory, you were an assistant coach on staff at Appalachian State. So what memories do you have from those final moments, those exciting, that blocked field goal, just those really exciting moments there at the end? What sticks out in your mind?
Well, I think, when we scored the field goal and then they had about a minute and a half to go in the game and they were driving, it was very, very tense, nervous. We stood up in the box, kind of just walking around, figuring out what we're going to do here. And then Corey Lynch comes off the edge there to block the kick, and then it's just you going crazy, throwing things in the box, hugging everybody that we could find, and then we came down out of the press box down through the stands onto the field, just trying to join in the celebration. So, and just looking at the shocked faces on the Michigan fans. But it was certainly a great moment in time and history for Appalachian State, and certainly that we'll go back now and cherish, I'm sure, when we go there this year in 2014.
Another question that we've got coming from Twitter, this is a 2-part question from Kirk Sherrill, is do you expect that the Georgia-Southern rivalry will remain intact since both of you guys are moving over to the Sun Belt this season?
I certainly do. I think, if you look back over the years between us and Georgia-Southern, great games. No matter where it's played, our place, their place, it doesn't matter. So, it is kind of neat that we're both transitioning to the Sun Belt Conference. We are very familiar with each other, albeit they do have a new coaching staff. But I do think the rivalry will continue just because of our both passionate fan bases.
The second part of that question, how do you prepare for tough back-to-back games? In November, you've got games on the 15th and then again the 22nd. What's going to be the key to making sure you're at the top of your game for both of those contests?
Yeah, I think, that's going to be extremely difficult. 2 of the better teams in this conference back-to-back on the road in their place, and that's at the end of the season. I think that one of the main things is we're going to have to stay fresh. I think we're going to have to take care of our players, not beat them up too much in practice, make sure their legs are fresh. That's just going to give us a chance. And then our coaches have to come up with a great game plan for both of those opponents, and certainly going to be challenging to get on a plane for both of those, considering we, in the past have not flown very much for our away games. So it's going to be new for us, but I think the freshness is going to be the main thing.
Question from Chase Cross on Instagram. What's the biggest change you've seen so far and that you plan on seeing at Appalachian State as you complete the transition into FBS football?
I think the biggest change for us has been recruiting. We were at 63 scholarships in FCS. We're going to 85. We're still not there yet. We signed 28 players this past season, which is a ton of players. And then next year we'll be getting up to 85. Right now we're going to be at 80 this fall. But that's been the biggest change, I think. And the travel is going to be different for us, as I mentioned earlier. The fact of getting on an airplane and having to fly to these games are going to be different travel-wise.
Well, we talked about the biggest change, but then what areas on or off the field do you feel that football is ready to make that transition to FBS? And what are the areas that you guys still have some work to do? Well,
I think, facility-wise, we're ready to make the change because we have, a great stadium. We have great fan support. We've led the FCS in attendance the last 7 seasons, and, our facilities are second to none. I think where we're going to have to get better, I think, as far as is the depth that we're going to have. We mentioned it earlier about increasing the scholarship numbers. You're going to have some guys get dinged up, so you're going to have to be able to put a quality player right as his backup to come in there, step in there, and not lose anything. So those are the things we're going to have to work on.
Well, Coach Satterfield, we really appreciate you stopping by. Best of luck. Another chance to make history in Ann Arbor. First game as a Sun Belt Conference member, a big one up there at Michigan. We will wish you the best of luck this season. Thanks so much.
Thanks.
We will be right back here on the Sunbelt Social Suite. Coming up, we will have the student athletes from UL Monroe joining us.